3, pre-plan a shot list after the pre-interview. Now, I kind of already mentioned this, so, but I have a principle that I do with all of my videos, and the principle is this. I want to see the person in a story video. I want to see them talking as little as possible, and I want to see visuals that are telling the story more than I see the person. So my worst case scenario is 50% seeing them talk, 50% footage or visuals. If I had my way, I would do 90% visuals, 10% seeing them talk. Because at a certain point, seeing them talk becomes boring or less interesting, or what's the point of doing video? You can just have them come live and just tell their story live. What video is able to do is make it more cinematic or more like a film where you're getting lost in the story, and there's visuals that are supplementing what the person is saying. There's music that's supplementing emotion and making you feel certain things. And so I always prefer to have visuals as much as possible. So when you do the pre-interview, it gives you the chance to think about what are my visuals going to be, and here's what I'm going to shoot. Now I have some bonus tips for you here. Bonus tips under this. Number 1 bonus tip is do a shoot schedule. I also mentioned this a little bit earlier, but just to get more specific, for me, I give myself an hour to 2 hours for setup for an interview. 1 hour to 2 hours of setup and getting everything done. I use 3 camera angles typically, and we do boom mic and lighting and everything. And then I give myself a 1 hour for the interview, and then I give myself about 2.5 hours to shoot B-roll. So if you put all that together, 2 hours for setup, let's call it, 1 hour for the interview, and then 2 hours, 2.5 hours for the B-roll, then you got drive time, which brings you to your 8-hour day. Like drive 30 to 45 minutes out somewhere. If you need to build in lunch somewhere in there, you build in lunch. But doing a shoot schedule for me has been huge because I'm able to tell whether I'm behind or not. And it takes stress away from me when I know if I'm behind or not behind. Sometimes it adds stress because I know I'm behind now. But at least if I have some sort of a, here's what we're going to do, versus saying we're going to shoot this story video this day, that's what we're going to do. It's kind of nefarious as to, are we on schedule? Are we behind? Are we ahead? I don't know. But when I have a schedule, I just feel better. And then I'm also able to tell the person who I'm interviewing and the crew and everybody, here's the plan. It might change a little bit or tweak, but here's the plan. Let's try to stick to this plan as much as we can. So that's another bonus tip. And then bonus tip number 2, I guess it would be, is to use stock B-roll for visuals when you can't shoot the footage yourself. Like there's some footage you can shoot yourself. There's other footage, like they talk about, I did this trip to India and it was so life-changing. Well, maybe you can't fly to India. Maybe you need some stock B-roll footage of India that's beautiful and looks like India, and then you can put that over top of them, and it looks like you went to India, but you just used it from a stock footage site. I use that all the time to fill in gaps of my stories, like when I was in the hospital, or when I went to this place or did this place, or I always loved the, I don't know. You get the idea. I try to find B-roll shots that will supplement that I am unable to shoot myself, but that still gives me visuals to tell the story. My number 1 site that I use for stock footage is called videoblocks.com or storyblocks.com. They've also got audio samples, like sound effect things, and then they've got some music, I think, maybe too. I primarily use them for video stock footage because it's a set monthly fee or yearly fee, and you have unlimited downloads of any other content, which I find that to be great because I do this for a living. I have a creative video agency, so I'm using it all the time. So that's bonus tip number 2.